Hey, hey, ho, ho. James Gunn has gotta go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. James Gunn has gotta go. I'll explain why I'm chanting that song. I've been looking at these videos online on YouTube, these podcasts, and everyone making a big to-do pro James Gunn or, not wanting James Gunn. Well, I don't want James Gunn. I'm going to tell you why. It's not because, and I'm not a Snyder bro. It's not that I'm, one of those Zack Snyder guys. Although I did wish Zack Snyder, I've been drinking Jack Daniels. I do wish Zack Snyder would have been able to finish his arc, but at this point in time, I expect him to be back. Or you never know. Maybe he could finish his arc with animation. That would be a good way to do it. But as far as making the movies again, continuing with his storylines, to get the same actors back, and who knows if they're going to want to, they moved on, if they're going to want to look back, or he could cast different actors. But that's not the reason I'm against James Gunn being in charge of the DCU. It's very simple. As a grown man who has moral values, doesn't mean I'm an extreme right-wing conservative like some of you lunatics like to claim. I just don't like his, I feel, this is my personal opinion, that he really is a perverted degenerate and a possible pedophile. Okay, there's a lot of proof to that. This guy should not be in charge of the DCU. He should not be. Warner Brothers should, that jerk off Zaslav, whatever his name is, that hired him and James Gunn should both be fired. I mean, Warner Brothers should get rid of both of them. They should not be in charge of the DCU and these iconic characters like that. One of my favorite of all times, Batman. I hope he doesn't get around. He did Superman. He did okay. I like the new Superman movie. I don't like what he's doing with Peacemaker. That's for sure. I mean, adult content is one thing, okay? Perverted, degenerate content is another. I mean, a orgy scene with guys' balls hanging out does not belong. Do you gun butts understand? Those of you who think, James Gunn could do no wrong because you're a bunch of desensitized degenerates. He's a degenerate. You're a bunch of desensitized degenerates. Don't you understand that doesn't belong in a DCU project with superheroes that kids are watching, okay? Parents can't always, control what their kids are watching. They don't even know what's going on with this, and they would assume, a superhero project is okay for my kid to watch. They don't know there's orgy scenes with guys' balls hanging out. James Gunn should have never done that. There was no need for that. It didn't enhance the story. That's because he's a perverted degenerate, and it shows up in his work. He can't help it. Like, Quentin Tarantino had a foot fetish. And in his movies, you would see there was always shots of women's feet. You know what I mean? I mean, Hollywood is full of these sick bastards, okay? I'm not saying Tarantino's sick because he had a foot fetish. That's a kind of a common fetish. I don't understand that. Of all the parts of a woman's body you could find attractive, you find the feet attractive, but that's okay, whatever. But James Gunn, is really sick in the head. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, the DCU, that nonsense, that orgy bullshit doesn't belong in any DCU project. Okay? All right, one thing to have an orgy scene, but you got to show the guy's balls hanging out, and he does this kind of stuff constantly in his work. All right, he should not be in charge of these iconic superhero characters that do appeal to children as well. And nowadays, yes, a lot of it is adult content, appeals to adults. That's great. I'm glad that it does. But come on, kids also watch this stuff. They love Superman and Batman, whatever. Now, as I was saying, I did like James Gunn's Superman. He knew better than to do that kind of nonsense with Superman, but eventually he probably will, even with Superman. I'll bet in the sequel there's going to be something like that. This is what he does. That's why he doesn't belong in the DCU. Okay? If you like him as a director, fine. Let him go direct movies on his own. He shouldn't be in charge of these iconic characters. He's not the man for the job. You don't do that kind of stuff. All right? It's just having, common sense and being, decency. And these are supposed to be, even adult content, it's supposed to be family oriented. All right? Not the sexual, deranged, degenerate, perverted bullshit. All right? Doesn't belong here. All right? And I don't know why some of you gun butts, I came up with the name gun butts, because it's the other way around actually. You got your head up James Gunn's ass. I don't know why you think everything he does is so perfect. The guy's making a lot of money, enough money, okay? You don't need to defend every perverted, degenerate thing he does. He doesn't give a fuck about you, okay, whether you live or die. He doesn't even know you're existing. So what the hell are you all, every time somebody says something negative about James Gunn, you attack the person. Because that person is coming from, an adult, decent, moral-minded way of thinking, okay? Which you gun butts don't understand. Okay, you're a bunch, living in your mother's basement. You're a bunch of deranged, like I said, desensitized degenerates. You gotta wise up, all right? It's not a matter of liking Gunn, not liking Gunn because of this or because of that. It's because of this sexual depravity, all right? Like I said, as a director, if you like him, fine. Let him go direct movies on his own. He should not have, this jerk-off Zaslav should not have put him in charge of DC characters, all right? Or Marvel or whatever, all right? He doesn't belong there. I don't care, he says he's a fan. Bullshit, and he likes these offbeat characters that people don't know much about so that he can get away with doing this kind of thing. See, he couldn't really do it with Superman because a lot of people are very aware. They all know Superman. But now he's with Peacemaker. A lot of people don't know Peacemaker. So he's doing all this sexual depravity, perverted, degenerate bullshit in Peacemaker. And then he's coming up with storylines that are just like the Nazi world story. In the comic book, they make a point of telling you that that our world is much better than the Nazi world. Where in James Gunn's version, he has people saying there's not much difference. This guy is a sick fuck, okay? Yes, needless to say, I don't like him. And I don't know him personally, but, from what I do know of him, he's a bad boy. All right, well, that's my take on it. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. I don't want my channel to become one of these, arguing about DC superhero channels. But I just had to get get my input, and that's the way it is, or that's the way I say it is, or the way I think it is. No, the way I know it is. Anyway, whether you agree with me or not, we're all entitled to our opinions. That's why restaurants have menus. People don't all order the same thing. So there you go. So take care. Peace out.